Okay, this is unboxing installation of the new Aquastrong inverter pool heat pump. It's 65,000 BTU. It's a replacement for the one that went out. That was too expensive to fix. So I'm trying this new one. I got it on Amazon. Got here in 2 days, amazingly enough. And let's do it. I think what I'm gonna start doing is I'm just gonna cut it all the way around the bottom and lift it off. That's the plan anyway. This thing's really heavy. It took two of us to even move it over here. It's over 200 pounds. Okay. Well, so far so good. Voila. Wow, she's big. Much bigger than the last one I had. But I think it's also 10,000 BTU bigger also, so. Unboxing. Easy squeezy. So, the next part is really the bulk of the installation. Is getting all the plumbing complete here. We have the output that goes to the pool. We have the input that comes from the pump. And there's a number of, well, actually three valves that you need to put together to make a bypass and also regulate how much water, depending on your pump size, is coming into the pump. You don't want to be too fast, else it won't give the water enough time to warm. And you don't want to restrict it too much to keep the flow low. That's not good either. So there's a happy medium. I'm sure somewhere along the way they're going to tell us based on this pressure gauge. But again, I'm getting ahead of myself because I've had one before. This is very similar, although this looks quite a bit better designed and built. It's solid. All right, let me get to the next step, which is really going to be putting all those plumbing parts, and I guarantee the old one's not going to fit this one because that's how these things go. Okay, as I mentioned, most of the work is going to be building the bypass valve, which is all out of 1.5" PVC, about valves and stuff you can get at any big box store. We'll talk about that in a little bit. What comes with it is just what you need. It's got, of course, the manual. It's got some rubber feet to go between whatever you're setting it on and the heater. And it's got a number of different ways you can connect it. This is the method I'm going to be using. That's the way I had it before. This is what they call a union. It connects, you tighten it up, and you're good to go. It also comes with these 1.25" pipe fittings where you could utilize this instead, or 1.5" pipe threaded, which is all standard stuff. So this is the route we're going to go. I'm hoping that I don't even have to replace them because these look identical to what I was using on the old heater. That way I don't have to redo everything. This stuff is not terribly expensive, but I'd rather not have to rebuy it. So let's walk around the unit. Cut. The unit seems very well built. Again, like I said, it's pretty heavy, over I think 220 pounds. came mounted to the bottom of that platform, which I'm going to leave on. I think it's going to be a lot easier and safer to move. Like I said, really all the work is building the plumbing apparatus, and the hookup is pretty straightforward. It's just those two pipes and electrical, and you're about good to go. It's got a very large fan compared to my other one. I assume that's going to heat a lot better than with the smaller one. I don't really know all the specifics, but it's quite a much bigger than my last one. Here we have the business end of the unit. The top, the black thing you can't really see because it's not on. That's an LED screen for, adjusting your settings. Below that is the electrical compartment. We have one side, you have the power on the left, and the grounding, I believe, is on the right. The bottom plug there, that's a nice addition for me, is the drainage plug. In the wintertime, you don't have to disconnect like I used to. You just pull that plug, it drains the unit, and you're good to go for the wintertime. So I'm very pleased, at least with the unboxing. Next thing is probably a trip or two to the big box store to buy some plumbing parts. And that's what we're going to move on to next. I think I'm going to do that in the shop. Okay, be right back. Okay, we're in the shop, and we're going to have to work on this because the old setup was smaller than the new one. This is 13 3/4 center to center, and I need 17 3/8. So we're going to cut this and bring it to 17 3/8. But just to talk about this a little bit, because this is most of the work, is again, I say these valves are really important to have, because what happens is the water comes in on here. It comes through with this valve open into the heater, gets heated up, comes out through this valve into your pool with this shut off. Now, if you had to take the heater out, or you want to just bypass it for maintenance reasons, you would then shut these off and open this up, and now you're going from your pool right from the pool filter right to the pool. So that's the essence of what's going on here. But again, we got to rework it. It's a pretty simple setup. You can buy all this stuff at the big box store. Not hard to do at all. You just need something to cut it. I'm using a reciprocating saw, but you can easily use a hacksaw with this PVC pipe. Again, all standard stuff. This is not a plumbing video, so we'll be back in a snap. So if I measured right, everything's assembled and it's back to 17 3/8, so it should be a good fit. And now we're going to move on back outside with the heat pump and get it installed. So I think I said earlier incorrectly it was a 65,000 BTU. This actually is a 75,000 BTU unit. My old one was 65, so I needed to correct that. So on that, 17 3/8 center to center. And let's go. All right, we're going to see. Just going to double check before we bring it back there. Being so heavy. Perfect. Yeah. Perfect. So there you have it. Pretty straightforward. Put that into bypass. All right, I think we're ready to move this. I'm gonna put a little bit of protection. I'm gonna move this with a dolly, which I've already did, just to make sure it worked out. But I do want to put some protection on the front. So let's go do that. Okay, we're gonna move it. All I did was put a piece of wood here, strap to protect it when I lean it back. I'm not going to show me moving it. It's not going to be terribly difficult, but it's going to be a little risky. So I'm going to move it back to the pool. Okay. Okay, so I got the unit up on its stand. I had to alter it to make it a little bit bigger, and I had to get my neighbor to help me put it up there. But she's sitting there, and it's just four lag bolts, 2 in the front, 2 in the back, and secure. Everything worked out fantastic because we pre-measured everything, so it connected right up without any problem. These are basically hand tight plus a quarter. I don't think you're supposed to over tighten those too much. You'll see that the valves are shut off to the heater and is going to be open just to go from directly from the pool filter to the pool initially. I had to drain the pool down to this level. Got to fix this rust problem. So that's where the water level is now. So I can't fire it up. I've got to still make the electrical connection and the ground. But I'm going to go ahead and probably take the next day or so to raise the pool, and then I can check for water leaks. Hopefully we won't have any of those, and then we'll be able to fire this thing up. So I'm going to come back, and I want to talk about one thing that's kind of important. Besides the ground, as you see down there, that ground lug has got to be connected to the ground wire. That's very important, and to a ground rod. But the drain, there's a drain. Earlier you saw that drain hose. There it is there. It's simply run underneath. I couldn't get the camera in there. It's run underneath, and on the rear left-hand side as you're looking at it, there's just a hole, and it just simply snaps in there. But these units, especially in humid climates where they really work well, I mean, they generate a lot of condensation. So this hose will be freely running water in the hot, in the cooler, humid months. So you've got to deal with that. It's one of the reasons why I built this a little bit higher, because I wanted to have pitch, because it's only gravity fed. So that way the condensation runs without any problem right down that hose. Right now it's just spilling out here onto the, which was grass. And you can see it got all killed because it stayed sopping wet all summer long. So in the next day or so, I'm going to trench this up and put a drain pipe in there, so I maybe can regain some of this. But there you have it. I'll come back when we're going to do the electrical connection shortly, and once the pool water's up. All right, until then. Okay, we have the new Aquastrong heat pump all connected. It's powered up, it's running, and the noise that you hear is the pool filter, actually. This is a very, very quiet unit. You can barely hear it. It does take a bit, maybe 10-15 minutes for it to ramp up to its fully top level to heat water. It's got a really great screen. And as you can tell here, the water going in is 65 and coming out is 69. I've got it set for 84. I don't know if I'll get up that high. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let it run for it's just a touch screen, by the way, too. It's really nice. I'm going to run it for till this time tomorrow, 24 hours, and we'll see how much it raises. I actually started out and it was at 64 degrees. I adjusted these valves to about 50%. The manual says to adjust them down to, this gets a low flow error. I didn't go that low. I'm going to start here. It also says in the manual that as long as you have a differential between the in and the out of about between 1 and 5, you're good. So I'm at 4, so I'm going to call that good. One thing I want to point out is the ground is really important. Don't skip this. If I can get it down there. That ground lug, which is not zooming in, here we are. That needs to go to a number 6 ground wire, and then that in turn needs to go to a ground lug. and that lug is then connected to an 8-foot ground rod. It's important to have all this pool stuff properly grounded, and this is per the manual, which the manual was pretty straightforward, easy to read and understand. But I'm super pleased with this unit. Like I said, I can't even hear it running. So that's the unboxing and kind of setting up. It's not a big deal. Anyone can do it that's got a couple of basic hand tools. You'll need a hand because it is over 200 pounds wherever you're going to mount it. But super happy with it. We'll come back tomorrow and see how much the pool temperature rises in 24 hours. Okay, it's been about 24 hours exactly, and I have no idea how warm the water is, but we're going to find out now. Wow, 79 degrees and what? I tell you what, this is pretty amazing. It's 79 degrees, almost 80 degrees in 24 hours is crazy. Wow, this thing is a pretty amazing unit. You saw it yourself, 24 hours from 64 to 79. Yeah, heck, it'd be 82 before the end of the night. So I tell you what, I'm extremely happy with this heater. I mean, just in 24 hours it's really quiet. And one thing that I didn't mention, which is really incredible, is this thing has a COP of 15.2, I believe, which I've never heard anything that high. And if you don't know what the COP is the coefficient of performance. And that means how much heating or cooling units does it do with 1 unit of electricity. So 1 unit of electricity, this thing is generating 15.2 units of heating, which is incredible. My last heater, which was a big name brand heater, huge company, only had a 5.7 COP. So that, I guess, lends itself to why this thing in just 24 hours jumped from 64 to 79 degrees. So I can't be happier. I recommend getting one of these. You get them on Amazon. I don't know where else. I'm sure you can get them online from Aquastrong perhaps. But fantastic unit. Safe to say we'll be swimming early. Thanks.